So I'm just starting whenever.
Sure.
Then I'm just starting whenever. I'm not in a bad place, but I'm not in a good place. Bobby and I were talking before the podcast. I'm going to start off right with it. I'm in a weird spot where during COVID, I had to get a real job, so I had to stop doing comedy as much, and I got all like out of it, and I wasn't really doing. I was doing like once a month. I would do well when I did it because I was trained in my head already to go on stage and do well, but I didn't have that drive. And then I lost my job from being funny and making fun of things. So then I needed comedy again. And now I'm doing it all the time, and I'm working on shit, and everything's getting sharp, and I'm doing well. But everyone that ever used to book me is either retired or dead, or the few people that were there don't have gigs for me until like next year. So now it's just like I'm doing really well on stage, but I'm hating myself because I can't get any stage time. And it's becoming frustrating as hell. But also, I should just be happy that I'm even getting better and better in my own mind and to other people I'm working with. But that being said, I had a great weekend of comedy. I know Bobby performing some shit. Bobby, how are you?
Pat's not in a good or bad place. I'm in a bad place.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our Patreon and hear me talking about killing myself so they can end there with just jokes.
Are we going to do a suicide Patreon?
I mean, yeah, the $7 we raise can fund the funeral.
No, but can we do one where we play like
10,
real sad songs? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wait, you're not introduced yet.
$10 on Patreon, you'll slit your wrists.
Greg, what are you doing here?
That's what we do. Like that. What's that thing you watch? The Cam Girls. So like you suggest things like, "How do you want me to do it?" And then you like slit your wrist, Bobby. And then you like you go ching 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 ching, and then you do that, or like choke yourself, bitch.
Yeah. Or like you could write a suggestion to Greg, like, wait till we introduce you, buddy.
But Greg's so
man.
known on the
Pretend like you've done a
podcast, he can do
podcast
that now.
before.
I like that. And Greg knows he's part of the show, so he can just start talking.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, I did. I should have.
No.
That was a little rude of me, but
Listen,
whatever.
No. You know my process. I start 6 weeks in advance when we book the guest, and I spend 4 hours a day writing their intro point by point so I can get the perfect joke down in the right amount of time in the perfect rhythm. And then Greg's got to walk in here and point out I should slit my wrists,
Oh, wait, nothing can fit that you being sarcastic more than today, where I'm like, hey, you want a podcast tonight? And your answer is, hey, can we just do 2 tomorrow? And I'm like, sure. And then 5 minutes later, he goes, shit, I forgot I booked Greg. Can we do it tonight, 8:15?
Oh, you totally could have canceled, man. I love it.
No, I wanted to do it tonight, and I was excited it was you.
The reason why
great.
I didn't want to is I didn't have time to like look for a guest and, get anything set up for a new guy. And then when we found you, it was like, oh, perfect. Just the person.
Because I was
going to
reach out and do stuff. I was like, oh, no, I don't have to do it either. So I could just watch dumb shit on TV.
Exactly.
I knew you forgot. When I texted you this morning, Bobby, I knew it. I knew I was reminding you.
Dude, it was perfect.
I wasn't going to call you out. But
I even think my exact words to you in our last conversation might have been, remind me next week because I'm going to forget.
Totally.
You should tell me.
For all future reference, I love a canceled plan. If you would have said, let's do this tomorrow night, I would have been so happy, dude.
Oh, canceled plan. I thought you said I love a cancer plan. I'm like, those are my favorite. It's like, how do we get out of this? Stage 4.
Cancel plan if you have cancer. That would make me more than happy.
Oh, I hate performing with people with cancer because then they have like the upper hand. Like you're gonna do well, you get your jokes, but they're like, oh, I have cancer. It's like it's the fucking. I hate
that.
You
want to hear a true piece of shit story from my life?
Yeah.
This is real. I swear to God, this happened. I rented "Dude, Where's My Car" from Blockbuster, and I kept it for like 10 months. And when I took it back, I told them that I was in the hospital with cancer, and that's why I didn't bring it back. And they canceled all the late fees.
That's a good move.
Did you tell them it's the only thing that got you through?
Yeah, no.
They're like, nobody's
pretty much
watched
left
this
it at
movie.
that. But yeah, they that happened. I did that. That's something I feel bad about.
What was that? That was Ashton Kutcher and Stifler, right?
Yep.
Okay.
This says I don't want to besmirch the fine film, Dude, Where's My Car? This is I'm the piece of shit in this story.
That movie, I remember when it came out, people were like, this is awesome. And I'm like, it's all right. It's all right.
I never thought it was awesome.
Come on.
That's not why I kept it. I just
powerhouses Stifler and Ashton Kutcher. What are you talking about, Pat?
But Kutcher at his Kutcherist He was just coming off the high of that 70s show, going into the movie thing. Stifler was just Stifler.
Yeah,
I mean, his biggest thing.
Rape was illegal. His whole character is just a Me Too allegation.
Oh my God, American Pie. Oh my Lord, that whole movie is just rape.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
like
it.
I raped a pie.
Well, yeah, okay.
The pie didn't say yes.
A pie can't say yes. That's statutory.
more like a pie can't say no. Am I right, guys?
Right. A pie can't. Yeah, a pie can't consent.
A pie can't say anything. Fucking pies are like Vietnamese people. Do they really matter?
Ooh.
I wanted to see your take on it.
No.
I like an apple pie or a cherry pie. All other pies don't matter.
Yeah, they
Wow.
don't. They don't.
Okay. Apple pie. Who likes that?
America.
No.
Yeah, not ISIS, but everybody else.
I like a pie with fruit more than I like a pie with goo.
I mean,
Just because you
Like
are
pumpkin
fruit.
goo.
You are a fruit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The goo.
Doesn't
Yeah,
get
yeah, no,
better
I'm with
than
you on that.
pecan
I
You don't
Never
get
eat
chunk
another
of pumpkin.
pumpkin
You
pie
get
ever.
goo.
pecan pie. Top
Pecan
of the line.
pie's
I can't really hear you about it. But pecan?
Pecan pie.
That's goo.
Yeah, but that's pecans.
It's also a bunch of goo.
You got goo, but you still got big old pieces of pecan. So that's okay. But when it's just goo, I'm not happy. Like key lime, get the fuck out of here.
Fuck a key
That's
lime,
Jello
dude.
for Southern people.
I don't even know what that is. That's
Lemon meringue,
Get-
fuck you, the French.
Lemon
Basically
meringue, no way.
a cheesecake.
But that's
Well,
cake.
No, I'm
A
saying it's
cheesecake, I'll
basically
argue
a
with that.
cheesecake at that point. Yeah.
But cheesecake's delicious.
Yeah, no, that's
Depends
not
on
even
the
a
type.
Conversation.
What's the type? I like cheesecake or a little strawberry, but I don't want it flavored. Once it's flavored, it's not fucking cheesecake. I don't need no pumpkin cheesecake. I don't need no jungle fever cheesecake with chocolate swirl in it. None of that. I want regular cheesecake.
I agree. I'll fuck with a flavor, but I don't prefer it.
New York style, but I've also never heard of another style. So I don't know why they say
Michigan
that.
style cheesecake.
There's no like South Dakota style cheesecake.
Fucking like Wisconsin cheesecakes. It's just cheddar.
Cheesecake is probably one of the best looking. Like when it's in like a diner spinning thing, you look at it with the strawberry, and you're like motherfucker. But then it's never enough, or you're never happy, or the graham cracker crumble's not as good as you want it to be. It can be disappointing, but it's sexy as fuck.
Dude, 100% of the time in that situation, I walk into the diner, I see it, I go, I'm getting that, I want that. As soon as I'm done with my food, I'm getting that, and then I eat, and I'm full, and I never get the cake.
When I used to get high when I was in college, I would go and I would get that first. Like I would walk in and
That's
go,
the move.
put it to the table with coffee while I'm looking at my menu. And I would have
Yes.
the cheesecake and coffee already high, and then I would get some grilled cheese and shit.
Man, you were a smart kid.
I didn't care about the rules. But when I was a kid growing up, they would call that eating dinner Chinese style because it was backwards, which is so fucking racist. It's not like Chinese people had dessert, but people just say that.
And they don't
I've never
eat
heard
dessert.
That before, Pat. You come from man. Is there anything in your past that didn't cause you to be a little racist?
My mom was okay. She was a
The
little.
most innocuous shit.
She was a little racist, but out of fear. My dad, it was like an art form. Like, it's like when I was in college, he had this like shillelagh, those are like a little like Irish wooden sticks. They're like all like shellacked and shit, and they have little knots on them and stuff.
No.
And you ever see those things, a shillelagh?
What's it used for?
What?
What's it used for?
It's ribbed for her pleasure.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, I don't know what it's used for, but what he told us it was for, me and my buddy Mike Kula, he brought it to we lived in New Haven, Connecticut, in our rugby house. It was like a really bad area, and it was like mostly all black people there. And he goes, "Here, they call it a shillelagh, but a mooly beaten stick." That was the term he said. And my friend goes, "I didn't know your dad could be this cool."
Yeah, I've never heard that term used for that. Well, I thought you were going to
the
say a completely different
Chinese
word,
thing-
and I was about to disconnect this Zoom.
The
Yes.
Chinese thing isn't racist though. It's actually a commentary on their political ideology evolution over time. Because they used to be full of art and happiness and like a real joyous philosophical people, and then Mao Zedong took over, and now they're not allowed to think outside of the box. So it's like that's why you eat dessert first, because they were a beautiful people in the beginning, and then communism ruined everything.
And that's funny because you say eat outside the box, and a lot of their food comes in a box. They eat inside the box.
Yeah, that's good. That was a bummer what Bobby said, though. Jesus.
Bobby makes it all up, but he does a great job at making you think like that's right. He's
that was
really
great.
good at that. Some of it comes from things Bobby has learned, but most of it is him just trying to save us from getting canceled.
Well, there was the Beijing initiative, and that's when you get a little bit of dessert halfway through the meal, where it's like one safe haven from all the monotony.
And in Beijing, they call it key rhyme pie.
Still tastes like shit.
Yes. I mean, I've eaten it. I don't think it's bad. It's just, I don't like lime. Lime isn't something you want to just have a lot of.
It's exactly the problem with lemon meringue. It's like a gross fruit to be put in a pie, and then they turn it into the consistency of like frothy cum.
Yeah, my mom would make so much of that. Like my Nana and my mom that was their go-to. It was that and a thing called plum kuchen. It's like a German little pie, but it's got like plums and it's got like a little cross on the top, like for the crust instead of a full crust. It wasn't bad, but they were very dry, like the German. You know, like,
did you get raised in a refugee camp? Like what?
No, we were poor. So you just, when you're poor, they go, try this. It's from your past. I'm like, we don't celebrate our past. It's just cheap and no one wants it.
Yeah, anything with, did you say raisins? Anything with raisins?
No, it was plum. But I do like I love a carrot cake.
Oh,
I will fucking cry. For a while when I was a kid, that was what I wanted for my birthday. Mostly because I knew that nobody else would eat it and I'd have the whole thing.
Good strategy. You got me on the icing, though. The icing on a carrot cake.
Icing's dope.
You know what your dad wanted for his birthday? A straight son.
Yeah, he did. My brother Jake.
Pat, why can't you be like Jay? He doesn't want any queer cake for his birthday.
Oh, my dad. My dad was, my mom would get me that cake. My dad, for everyone's birthday forever, makes the same like Betty Crocker sheet cake, and it barely rises. It's flat as fuck. He puts whatever fucking icing is on sale, so either vanilla or strawberry, writes your dumb name on it, and then it just sits there on a table, not for you to have. Like he'll make it at 8 a.m. if it's convenient, and if you came over at like 5 p.m., it's already hardened and not been refrigerated, and you're just like fighting off pieces. Then it stays on the table for 5 days till someone just eats it enough or throws it out.
Depending on how much icing they use, though, there is something nice about those cakes.
Yeah, if you get to them, layer them on top of each other too.
Ooh.
Good, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the cake you got to throw ice cream on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's got to soften the bullshit outside.
It's like a biscotti almost. You dip the melted ice cream in the cake.
Are you a biscotti guy?
No,
You got to put shit on it. You got to dip it inside, right? Like a scone. All that. I don't want to work hard when I eat a thing.
If I'm having a dessert for breakfast, it's gonna be a donut or a coffee roll. Like why?
You don't fuck with a muffin?
Around?
No, and I don't even know what a biscotti is, man. A biscotti could walk in here and
it's like this hard.
My mouth right now. I would have no idea.
Biscotti is a bisexual guy named Scotty. he's like, I'll fuck whatever. And then just
I know Scott. Sure, I know Scott.
Beam me up,
Bobby
Scotty, or beam me down.
Bobby performs at Biscotti's club sometimes. A scone, I'm not really sure what that is. I know it's just like drier, but I don't know how to make one. I don't know that. Like, I don't know exactly what makes it that different, but I will eat a muffin over a cupcake all fucking day.
Okay.
Like how do you feel about soft blueberry muffin is the shit.
Yeah, that is no doubt. Where do you come down on sugar cookies?
As long as they're not hard, a soft, out of the oven sugar cookie, boom.
My man.
Once it's fucking, if it's in that container with like your grandma puts her needles in and shit, then I don't want that.
No, you don't want needles in it.
No, I don't want needles. You don't talk about that old tin, that fucking thing. When people go out and buy like the hard grandma cookies, like if there's nothing left, I'll snack on that. But I don't want a hard. I also like a soft chocolate chip. I'll take a chewy over a hard Chips Ahoy every day.
Do you think like
commercialized?
You think the commercialized cookie like that got more apparent as people got like as they cracked down on pedophilia because there was no advantage to getting really good at like baking cookies or sweets anymore?
Man, Bobby with the bummer. You're like Daria.
Well, kind of, but I think, Bobby, I think it's a combination of two things. I think it's pedophilia and COVID, because the two people making cookies were pedophiles and grandmas.
They both got shut down.
They both got shut down, and then you don't really need. And Bobby, the third one,
well,
elves,
ironically,
which are
Cuomo
midgets.
made them live
Elves are
together.
midgets, and midgets aren't allowed to be around anymore. So no one's making cookies.
And Cuomo locked up both the pedophiles and the grandmas together.
And he killed the midgets. I'm saying.
He did have a
Why
midget
are midgets
holocaust.
around? Oh,
You can't say it. Where do you see any more?
Oh, you can't say it, but they can still hang out.
No, but do you see him as much?
I don't think I've ever seen one in the wild.
What the fuck?
Since Game
I
of
hunt
Thrones.
them. I hunt them. I track them down. I find them. I love them. I was obsessed when I was in college. My friends all knew that. They saw a midget. It was before phones. They would like find a payphone and call me and be like, "There's one here on Main Street. Get here."
I do
And I
love
would
the
just
idea
watch.
of you like getting up to leave a college class and the professor being like, "Where are you going?" "Sorry, they spotted a midget on the quad."
Yeah. It's like that or the ice cream truck.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this before, Bobby, but I was in a communications class and we had to make like a 1-minute fake commercial. I made a 15-minute documentary on the midgets of Bangladesh. It's not a real fucking thing. I got all my friends involved. We fucking, I had some guys sitting like on their knees on shoes, and I walked around like I was like Sally Struthers, and it was a throw country trying to save the midgets. And we had "Heal the World" with Michael Jackson playing in the background. A buddy of mine found this tape years later. He put it up on YouTube. I gotta find it now. When I did a show for some people I knew from college about 2 months ago, and they were bringing that up like, holy shit, Pat's been funny forever. He made this fucking video. It went around everywhere. We stole a paddle from the industrial size mixing paddle in a college to make food. So like for mashed potatoes, we stole that and I had a guy beating the midgets with it in the video.
That's
And
awesome.
it was fun and great. Like it was a 15
you
minute.
need
At the end, my teacher goes, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
He's like,
you
I'm
failed,
giving you an A because
and
this
you're
is
expelled.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck?
You got an A on that?
Because he's like, you got like, we had half the campus involved. Like my whole dorm was involved. People were watching out their windows as we're like outside out front, like whipping midgets. And it was fake. People were yelling out. We had 5 different scenes. We had what was my one buddy we called Cotton Candy Andy. He was real little, and we made him like pretend like he was a baby midget, and I just kept like slapping his head. And he's like, "Don't molest me!" He's yelling at in the video.
Did you have any actual little people in this, or was this all just your friends?
This guy Taft was supposed to be in it, and then he had to go get he had a crazy chair he had to be in at the time, and the chair had to get worked on that fucking day, but he was going to be in it. And we were his whole role was he was going to be one of the overlords, and we were never going to say he was a midget. So like
That's pretty good, dude. That would
have him be regular. So
you would have won a fucking award if he would have showed up. That's a great concept.
and then they told me that we couldn't do shit like that again, so I just dropped out of college.
Yeah, that was
Literally
legit.
2 weeks later, I dropped out of college. I got an A on that, and then I dropped out.
Logical.
I did. There was
That was
not
good
going to be
choice.
anything higher than that for me. Like that was it. I capped.
It is pretty good, although I mean I don't know where that A came from. You didn't really do the assignment at all. It's like if an art teacher asked you to like paint an apple and you handed them like the Mona Lisa or something.
Because I'm very good at arguing bullshit like Bobby is too. So when he said it wasn't a commercial, I said, I beg to differ. It's literally a infomercial that you would see on TV to raise money late at night. I actually went farther than most people. I gave more information at the end. I had a phone number to donate to save them.
Yeah.
So
throw
it
that in.
is. And I said, and then I go, that one girl just showed you how to make your best grilled cheese at Con Hall, our cafeteria. She should get an F. And he's like, well, stop pointing to her. I go, that was bullshit. I go, I'm in the video in the back making a grilled cheese. She didn't even know I was in there. She just took a camera for 5 fucking minutes. So give me an A. I worked hard. I had a crew. I had soundtracks. I had everything. I had editors.
I had a similar experience. I took Intro to American Politics, and one of the things you have to learn about is like political debate and like political ads and how to create a political ad. And you ran a mini mock election in our class, you versus somebody else, and the person I went up with was the person who was just there to make class take longer. You know, the person who always was just annoying, like, well, what about this? And like real liberal and like, well, no, yeah, just the absolute worst. So my political ad was just basically so-and-so is a pedophile. And then just made up a bunch of fake crimes. And the professor was like, you can't do that. And I was like, sure you can. He was like, what if this was a real election? I was like, I'd do it. And he's like, and then what would you expect to happen? I was like, I'd wait for the results to play out.
Yeah.
And we had a conversation. I ended up getting like a B on the project. Fast forward like 12 years, I was just Trump.
Yeah.
Like I just nailed it better than him.
This one's gay.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's it.
That's old Pocahontas over there.
Yeah.
Like you could just
You
do
talked
it.
your way into a B on that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a summer class. He was like, look, you need a B to get an A. And I was like, I'll take the A.
You guys went to some cool colleges.
Penn State.
I went the other way and did not go to college. That's what I did.
I did. Listen, when I went to college for so little. I literally got like 1 credit. Like that was it. I was barely there. I played rugby for 5 years. I saw another guy's fake ID to play rugby. I lived in the rugby house, but I went to school for like half a semester.
Man, how big? We've never met in person, Pat. Are you like a big guy? I don't picture you as a rugby player.
Surprisingly tall.
Okay.
I would say I'm 5'11", but I'm not.
Tall.
I mean, I'm a decent size. I think right now I've been trying to lose weight, but I'm in decent shape for 47. But I'm like 210 pounds or whatever. So it's like,
Ooh, okay.
I'm not swipeable, but like.
You got to be athletic to play rugby, though.
It's a lot of drinking. I was pretty good too, but I was one of the backs. I wasn't in the pack or anything like that. But still, I was thinner then. But yeah, I was an athlete through high school and all that shit. Whatever. With the voice in the racist face, I also look like I can punch people. I really can't that well, but it really helps my whole persona on stage. But when people are like, "Well, you're not really too likable," I go, "That's not how we were built, Oates. Like that's not what we do." It's like. We're not really built to be likable. Bobby, you ever watch you're listening to the podcast Are You Garbage?
I've listened a couple of times. I'm not a regular listener though.
Greg, are you?
I've listened. I'm a fan. I would say I'm a fan. Sure.
I knew of it forever, but I had never watched. It was one of those things I thought I did, but I didn't. I guess. And then yesterday. You were getting you're on YouTube and just suggesting dumb shit and stuff you watch and you're just bored. So it said, yeah. So I was like, here's funniest Tom Segura. It's on podcast part 3. Like, so I started watching that and they kept showing him on an episode of Are You Garbage? And it was very funny shit. So I was like, ooh, I'll go find that episode. And then I enjoyed the episode. And then it said, you like that one? Watch when it's Joe List and Louis C.K. on there. I'm like, dude, that's a fucking get.
Yeah.
I'll watch that one. And then today I was like, it's suggested a third one just happening this week. Dr. Drew Pinsky.
I watched that one.
Now, it's the funniest fucking episode of a podcast I might have ever watched.
Yes,
Drew Pinsky realizing he's garbage. Not only realizing it, but getting excited because he's garbage was amazing. I was howling before I came out here. Not that my recommendation helps anybody, but dude, that was a fucking. They're tremendous at what they do. The two of them stick to the format no matter fucking what, and it's crazy.
Kind of like us.
We try, but our format isn't. I mean, Bob, you kid. We try to do that. We have fun. They do a banter at the beginning too. Then we go into our thing, but their thing is so much more. It's just so fun. The questions they fucking ask these people, and in the responses, they're like, "Do you go on cruises?" That's a normal question. And Drew Pinsky goes all the time, and they're like, "What?" And like, he doesn't understand why that makes him trash. Or like when they ask what your mascot was from school, and then like someone like they said pirates, they're like, "Ooh, that's trash." And you start to think about it, like, yeah, that is trashy. That your school would be like, yeah, these people that murdered and raped on boats, that's our fighting mascot. It's like,
you know what my favorite question that I ever heard on that show was?
What?
They said, when you were a kid, did you drink milk with dinner?
Yes, that's a question they ask all the time.
Yeah. And I think that just sort of nails, I don't know what it is, but that's a great one, man. Every kid I knew that drank milk with dinner was trash. And I don't know, there's something about the tininess of that question, but it just nails it.
And we had milk with dinner all the time.
I did not question that.
Yeah.
You don't get 5'11", 280 or whatever you said.
We didn't have we weren't a soda drinking. On the weekends with my dad, my mom we didn't have a lot of money. Like, so because this is a time where there were single moms, but no one cared about them. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, ew. So like now they're all heralded. It's great. You get pregnant and have 40 kids and you're a hero. But my mom raised the 3 of us when like people didn't care if you didn't pay child support or help. They're just like, oh, just struggle, bitch. So like we did whatever. and she would try to help out, but milk was cheaper then. And we would drink that, but we only could have it. We couldn't drink it all the time. You could have some with dinner. We need some for cereal and some to cook with. So you couldn't drink too much of it.
Yeah.
But mostly it was like whatever, like Hawaiian punch or bullshit we would have in the house. But milk with dinner was like that was like the big thing. You had, and if we were good, we could get chocolate milk, squeeze it in there, the chocolate syrup.
Chocolate milk with dinner? I don't even know what it is exactly that's garbage about it, but it just hits my ears and I'm like, yeah, that's trash, dude.
But their follow-up question, if you put ice in it, is better.
Oh, fuck.
I don't think I've heard that. That's fucked.
Yeah.
If you put ice in your milk? Yeah, that's garbage, dude.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're making key lime pie at that point.
Yeah, you're there.
Like that song says.
I would eat 50 key lime pies before I did that. I'm sorry, Bobby.
It's okay. It's like that old song said, you put the lime in the coconut and wait till she passes out. Dr. Cosby.
Not the words.
Dr. Cosby. You put the lime in the coconut and wait till she's asleep. Dr. Cosby. That's all I had there.
I like when people will be like, when people always say things like, it was so much better back then. You could point out that song and go, not all things were better. Like, that's one of the shittiest songs ever written. It's known. It's a known song. He puts the lime in the coconut and shakes it all up. Like, I wrote that. He recorded it. He produced it. He gave it to people, and they're like, get it out there.
That song's made a shit ton of money.
Maybe he did. Who knows how much money he made back then.
And call me in the morning.
I mean, between then and now, it has
John Mulaney, Joe, and Mr. Barry Gordy, give me a nickel for all my songs.
That's true, but somebody got rich off that shit. It was in a commercial.
Someone did. That's one of the dumbest songs there is.
Yeah. We got to do that. Write a dumb song, sell it to some fucking shithead.
There's a podcast. Now I feel bad because I was a guest on it like several times. What the fuck's it called?
Worst songs.
Something like that. The guys are great, and I feel like an asshole because now remember I've been a guest several times. But what they do is, so Greg, if you were going to be on, you choose the genre. Like let's say we'll go with. Well, I did boy bands once, and you choose what you think is the worst boy band song ever, and then they choose one too, and then you have to defend your case as they play each song. And like, boy, they pause it. It's fucking so much fun.
That does sound fun.
I think it's called like Shitty Song. Or
Shitty Song of the Week.
Yeah. Dude, and those guys are awesome. And they're so much fun to be on that podcast. They're hilarious. They're great. And they take it seriously. I've been a guest on like 3 times. When I started doing Who Are These Podcasts, they're like friends with those guys. So then I got on there too. So it was fucking crazy. But it was so fun just to pull out genres of shit.
That is cool. I just love a good podcast concept. I got to think of something good.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you can, that's why I like this Are You Garbage thing, because it's not just everyone is just we're famous and we're chatting and now we all know each other. It's fun. I appreciate watching the funniest people in the world talk to each other all the time. But when to watch a guy like Drew Pinsky have to sit down in some weird fake studio that looks like someone's basement and have to answer questions about his childhood is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, they get deep too. It's a really
especially when the person
concept.
Everyone buys into it. That's what I love about it.
Yeah. You play it with your friends. You know,
I
start to walk around and notice that guy's putting creamer in his coffee cup.
Yeah,
filling it.
Oh yeah, it's making me notice. Like
garbage.
It made me think of it because we just talked about fucking the worst cakes and pies, and I'm like, that's that. If somebody watched that, they'd be like, you should go on that show and talk about the cake you ate. Or your milk. Like,
I wish they had given Dr. Drew like the real like works instead of asking him like questions about his childhood to be if he's garbage. Be like, hey, did you ever exploit 12-step programs for personal profit while jeopardizing the validity of the program by using their names and putting it out there?
Did you watch the podcast?
No, I haven't. Do they put him?
Breaks down how everything came to be, and he was against some of that stuff, and so were a lot of people. So finally, it was brought up because of, weirdly enough, you know who a big influence on all that beginning was?
Rich Voss.
Fauci. Because Fauci at that time, when he was pushing everything with AIDS and all that stuff, was telling the medical people, get out there more, talk to people more, get out there, expose it. Everybody was afraid of STDs. They didn't talk about it. People were saying the crazy shit. So get on the radio, do things like that. And then people start pushing him, like once he did good on radio, hey, you should do like a celebrity rehab. It's like, where would he even clear that? That's crazy. But then this guy who was a top medical guy was talking to Drapinski about it, saying, I'm so tired of everybody writing in the paper that every celebrity goes to rehab has like a vacation and it's spa. It's like, it's not. They fucking work hard. They cry. They break down. I wish that was on TV. And Drew goes, they've been asking me for a year to do that. Are you okaying this? He's like, fucking go. So that's kind of how it kind of happened.
Yeah, a lot of people had the idea to exploit celebrities in trouble.
That wasn't his idea. True? He just made the money off it. If anything, they exploited him because he's a tall, handsome man who's captivating.
He said,
he may be exploiting him. I back Dr. Drew, though, man. I like him. Maybe definitely exploiting, definitely profiting on the misery of others. But hey, fucking join the club, man. If I had to choose between Dr. Drew or Adam Carolla, I'll take Dr. Drew all day. I mean, to be on a desert island with Adam Carolla would be pretty much of a nightmare. So. Adam Carolla 20 years ago might be fun. Now he's just boring. It's just a lot of talk. Oh, shit, my bad. But his appearance on Compound was great.
No, I'm just waiting. Get on TV and you make the medicine up. Dr. Fauci. He said, go on TV and just make everything up. Yeah, pretty much. That's all I was waiting for to jump in. You're not
tone deaf. It just sometimes it doesn't always hit. You do pretty well, but sometimes I'm like, is that the scene?
I am pretty much tone deaf. So the fact that you get any of these
you're tone hearing impaired, but you're not tone deaf. You know, it's like you're one of those babies that the parents get the things and they put it on your ears and you're like, oh, I heard it like that. You're new to hear it, but you're tone deaf.
Something like that.
I like those videos. It's like, hey, my dumb baby can't hear. And then you throw it on their heads and they're like, oh.
Yeah, it's not exploiting the kid at all.
I would do that. And then the first thing I would do is fart.
Like,
that would be the kid be so happy. Like, I thought it just stunk.
They would laugh. Yeah, they would laugh. And that'd be a good video.
Because they thought it was hell. They thought it was just like, where's this smell coming from? They didn't know it made noise. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a warning. That's great. Life's easier now.
They also.
I wonder if Helen Keller beefed real hard, like just fucking, like.
I don't think she was real. I don't think she was real.
If you're blind or deaf or whatever, I think your other senses get better. So Helen Keller was blind and deaf. Her sense of smell must have been fucking off the charts.
Yeah, that must have been. By the way, I liked back then when you could say blind, deaf, and dumb.
Yeah,
it's like, nah, just dumb here. Like, I can see and hear good, just stupid. But Bobby, when me and Brandon Smith and Dave Hintz used to do that Podophiles podcast, we did 3 different episodes out of Helen Keller's.
That's what I was referencing. Yeah.
And it was like we would go off on that forever. And like when you do the deep dive on all that shit, there definitely was a Helen Keller, but people definitely added a lot of stories to that shit and built her into the super thing. Same way with Jesus. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like
there was a Jesus.
Wait. So I'm supposed to expect that this woman learned how to read? Okay, this dumb broad, yeah, even with a tutor, she learned how to read? Come on now.
You want to tell me a woman named Helen couldn't talk your ear off?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
She probably still did. Just that's why her parents were so driven to teach her how to talk, because she just sat there the whole time like, hey, like, please. It's okay, Greg. You can make those jokes. They can't hear this podcast.
Who, Helen Keller's parents? They can't hear it.
Helen Keller, I think, killed her parents, right? With an axe or something?
I think that's one of the jokes.
Shit. I'm sorry. Yeah. I thought I was saying something funny.
No, you weren't. But I also think that's one of the Helen Keller did. By the way, when you're younger, those are the jokes. I was younger. When you start hearing those, you're like, ooh, there's like this whole world of just terrible things. Like, I didn't know when people were like, oh, do you know that why Helen Keller's dog killed itself? And you're like, why? First of all, as a kid, you're like, why would a dog commit suicide? That's terrible. And how? How did they do it? Like, how's a dog? It's got paws. It doesn't kill. I mean, you throw itself from a car. You're not really killing yourself. It's an accident. You could have made yourself do it, but the person killed you.
It lit itself on fire as a peaceful protest for the Vietnam War.
Right. Well, no, it actually put its snout in the tank first and stood there, and they took pictures of it for a while. But then after a while, lit itself on fire. But the other answer to that
what did the Vietnamese say, Pat? How excited were they about the self-cooking dog? I wonder what they would have said about that.
They said, lunch. Buffet. That's what they call a buffet there, buffet. It sounds like a dog and it's buffet, and they don't say B's good. But the other answer to that joke is, if your name was, you'd kill yourself too, which is a classic joke.
Yeah. How did I have heard that?
How did Helen Keller burn the right side of her face? When the phone rang, she answered the iron by mistake.
Okay.
That doesn't even make sense.
Actually, more of a.
No.
I know.
She can't hear, so why would she answer the phone? This is why I didn't have many friends as kids.
She can't hear, so who's calling?
Yeah, okay.
You can't even see the little light they put on deaf people's phones.
No, she ain't got shit.
I don't believe this story. How did
What? She FaceTiming now? Feeling vibration and fucking FaceTiming? Bullshit.
Bobby, how'd she burn the left side of her face?
She hung up the iron.
They called back. That's the second part of that shit show. And it would kill. When a kid would tell it, you're like, boom, boom, boom. Like, yes. You kill it with these Helen Keller jokes.
The kid telling that drank milk with dinner, dude. Let me tell you.
We all did. That was the thing. When you could have a second of milk, I thought you were rich. Like when I went to my friends' houses and they were like, you want more? I'm like, wait, we can have more. We got like several gallons. We have a cow. It's like, what?
But milk with like spaghetti or something is
no.
disgusting.
You didn't do it with spaghetti.
Yeah,
with a meatloaf, you did it.
No, meatloaf. That's just as bad.
It's hearty. You're
right.
full.
I do an iced tea with dinner. I go with tea.
Iced tea with what? With spaghetti? That's gross.
Spaghetti, meatloaf, all of it.
Yeah,
right now, all I
fine.
drink in life is water or black coffee. I don't drink anything else.
I can tell. Yeah, you got the coffee going for sure.
I do, but I've cut it down. But I used to do like at least 2.5 to 3 pots a day. But now I do like 1 pot a day.
I probably haven't drank 2 pots of coffee in my life.
That's because you smoke weed. I stopped smoking weed. I drink coffee.
Okay.
Bobby, you don't drink coffee, right?
I'm an energy drink guy. I mean, I could drink coffee if I have to, but like my thought process is, why not enjoy the taste a little bit?
I like the taste of coffee.
I get that, and like it is an acquired taste, and you don't really drink either, so like that is kind of something you can enjoy, and like whiskey. You know what I mean? Some people find a particular whiskey they enjoy. Some people find a coffee. Greg finds the strain of weed.
I'm trash. I don't like expensive coffee. I don't like flavored bean. I like a shit coffee. I think it more comes from when I stopped drinking. I needed to have something in my hand all the time when I was out somewhere. And I didn't want to just, a glass of water is fine, but I wanted to buy something, especially doing open mics and comedy shows. I always felt like an asshole if I just asked for a cup of water.
Yeah.
Then you're not paying, they're paying you to be there, buy something. You know, they give you for free. Okay, so this Saturday, when I'm at City Steam, I get there, and I haven't been there like in a year or so, but they all know me there. But they had a new wait staff. So you're in the green room, and a lady comes in, and she asks the guy who's hosting, what would you like? They give you food, whatever the fuck you want. And he asked for a chicken sandwich. He said grilled chicken sandwich. And they're like, okay. But you can tell she didn't write it down. I'm like, they're going to fuck that up. And then she turns to me, and she goes, what would you like? I go, and I always ask it this way, because I know not every restaurant or bar, especially at night, has coffee all the time. Sometimes they don't have it on. So I don't say, get me a coffee. I always go, do you happen to have coffee on? And she goes, oh, it's like upstairs on the 3rd floor. We're going to have to go up there and get it. And I was like, don't you have to get all the food up there? Because there's no kitchen down here. Everything's, she's
up
like,
there, yeah.
I don't even know if they have it on. I go, it's not a bother. I was just asking. And then the manager guy, Chris, comes in and goes, Pat always gets coffee. You're going to go upstairs and get coffee. And she turns to me and goes, my apologies. I have a bad hip. And I'm like, okay. So she walks away. She comes back down, and she's holding all the food for all different tables. And she hands this guy a fried chicken sandwich.
You knew that was coming.
And so she's like, he goes, that's not what I wanted. I go, well, the sandwich you want is upstairs on the 3rd floor. Bad hip over here. And she just looks at me and she hands me. They didn't bring me a coffee. They brought me the carafe thing that, like, if you're at Cumberland Farms and you push it, they're like, because they didn't have to deal with me anymore. So
that's
now
actually,
I had, like, 37
normally that's like a cool thing. Like normally I'd be stoked if I got the whole carafe, but in that case it's passive aggressive, and I say she's the piece of shit. Fuck her.
But it worked out because the guy who was closing the show was like, dude, we got coffee. And even the manager's like, I'll have some. So we're all just fucking chucking coffee. I'm the asshole brings a coffee on stage with me. Like, so you have waters, whatever. I have a hot coffee on a stool as I'm yelling at you.
That's probably good for your throat, though, right? Like, get a nice hit of hot coffee.
You know what? To be honest, I don't think I've ever drank anything on stage.
Me neither.
I always bring a drink.
Yeah.
I always put it down. I think maybe a couple I've had water, like, but just because I've gone to it and forced myself, but I forget. And then when I'm done, I just drink lukewarm coffee.
Yep, that's about how it goes.
I wish I had that. I can't bring any drinks on stage, or I'll go to it every 7 seconds like an idiot.
Oh, really? The reason why I bring it on stage is because I've had to teach myself early on to set the stage a certain way so I command it so I'm not distracted. I hate when a comic, it's like you're hosting, Greg, and you're like, all right, here's Pat, and as you're handing me the mic, I'm grabbing the mic, I'm talking, I'm moving the stool, I'm walking around, and the crowd's not paying attention because you're moving around too much.
Yeah.
So if you bring me up, I bring things with me. If it's not a drink, I'll take my phone, even though I'm not recording, I'll put something on the stool. I'll move the stool to a certain spot. I'll take the mic stand. I'll move that out of the way. I'll stand in a certain spot, set myself to let everyone know, shut the fuck up. This is my stage now. I own this shit. And make it more like my own space. But by putting the drink there, it's like I'm setting everything up for myself.
I'm right there with you on all that. I have a specific, like, 6 movements I like to make when I hit the stage. I'd like it to be the same every time, and they're confident movements. And if there's an extra piece of furniture, if there's no stool or no mic stand, it throws everything off.
Yep. I do it differently. I care about the audience, not so much about stage. So I move the audience when I get up on stage. I'm like, let's bring some big titties up front. Okay, you, sir, you're ugly, to the back. I want to stare at some more titties. Come on up here, man. You know, you've worked with me, Greg.
I've seen him do it.
I'm sure they come right up because a lady's like, oh, good, he's objectifying me. Let me get up front. And an ugly guy goes, I knew what I saw myself.
What was I thinking sitting up front?
Stick.
The audacity of myself.
Stick for measuring the titties.
Titty measuring stick. What's a big titty, Bobby? Last week we talked about H tits. What's a big tit?
H tit's a big tit.
H are fucking big.
Yeah, we did a whole story on H tits.
It's more about proportions, you know, like how it fits on the body. I'm kind of like a lot of those bumper stickers. No fat chicks up front, obviously. We need room for all the big titties.
Do you think small tit women had milk at dinner?
Probably, and their body's like,
I
you
think
know
that's
what?
some
That's
milk
enough.
fed shit.
I think they're probably like, no. They're like, oh, you're getting milk. We don't need to make any.
No, I think it's a big tit thing. I think that's where it comes from. I think the milk drinking women have big tits, and they're whores.
I've met a lot of trashy women.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have small tits.
No. Trashy women can have small tits, but I don't. Okay, I'm not saying all trash women drink milk at dinner.
Okay.
But I'm saying women who drink milk at dinner are trash.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So all big-titted women are trash, is what you're saying then.
No.
But if that's
there
where
are some that are just fat.
Okay, fair enough.
You can send them my way.
That counts as big tits, but it doesn't. If you can fucking take a healthy shit and lose a tit size, you don't have big tits. You're fat.
They hold the shit in their tits.
PHAT.
Yeah, everything's up. They're not tits. It's just your body is pouring things out. It's like when you open up one of those biscuits, like the Pillsbury biscuits, when you're going to make them, you have to twist the thing off and the dough starts pouring out the side. That's what their body is. And some is tits.
That's why I get hard when I see one of those cans.
Oh, when I see the Pillsbury Doughboy, I just jerk off. It's great. I bet you I get the cinnamon rolls because that way it just looks like glaze. You know what I like? You know when a woman's fat but she has no tits? We used to call them flatsos. I don't know if people call them that still. But flatsos was the best. Like they're big and fat, but they have no tits. Like what happened?
I don't know. You grew up in like the kids in your neighborhood were clever.
It was mostly me. I was.
They called them flatsos, but it was.
I called it. And then, yeah, you know what? There were a lot of clever kids. We had some funny fucking people. Like still to this day, some of the funniest people I ever met were like with me in elementary school through junior high.
Yeah. Like
the shit they would say was insane. Like I would try to hang with them, and that's kind of where comedy came from for me because I was real skinny. I had really stupid hair. My mom gave me these rosy dork glasses. I was a fucking dork, but my sense of humor and my no filter let me hang out with the cool kids. I wasn't a cool kid growing up until I got a little older and grew. but I never really was a cool kid. But then I became like this rebellious asshole kid. There was no there. But when I was a dork, I was the dork that all the cool guys found funny.
That's
So
a
I was
nice niche.
okay. Yeah, I was a good goon, like a side goon, like the jester goon.
Wouldn't mind seeing that high school yearbook picture.
It's my basketball one looks like I have so much AIDS that if they were going to remake Philadelphia with Tom Hanks, I'd be in it. I'm 5'11", 150, 60 pounds, bones going out my shoulders, hair combed over like a 70s glamour shot photo. Oh, it's fucking
You look like the guy who gave Tom Hanks AIDS.
I've put up pictures or two of it. Even when I was a little kid, I was like 5 years old. I had a leisure suit on in one picture. What the fuck?
I thought you were gonna say you had lesions.
I did. I was the Legions of Doom. that was my thing. Should we do stories, Bobby?
I'd say we got time. Let's do one, and then we can get out of here.
Speaking of podcasts with great concepts, POS is fucking amazing, dude.
Well, thank you, sir. And our guests are amazing. That's what makes it great.
Yeah.
Bobby, you have a story. That's rare, so I want you to do your story.
Okay. So
we do two stories. We'll do them quick.
yeah.
I want to get one out.
All right. Let me share this screen quick. So the other day I was scrolling and I came across something called Minority versus Predator. It was a YouTube page. So let me set the scene. Everybody smile. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Why do we do this?
Because it freezes our faces when I share the screen.
Oh.
So you guys can hear this,
Look
right?
at that. Look at old Pat Dixon.
No, this is my favorite part. This is how the video starts out.
Chris Hansen
dope
here of
letter.
Hansen versus Predators to catch a predator and have a seat with Chris Hansen. Now I'm going to need all of you to have a seat right over there. There's something you need to know. You're watching Minority versus Predator. Please like and subscribe. I'll be watching and listening. What's up?
That's a minority.
That's the minority.
I'm winning, right?
Who is going after the predators?
Oh, I thought we had to guess.
No. That would be a fun game show, though. We could do that next week.
Yeah, that's our new 15 or 19. Minority or predator, we're doing that.
Why won't it let me do that?
Cosby's like, which one do I choose?
No, but it's clear, like, he just bought a cameo. Like,
Yeah.
he did not get Chris Hansen to watch his channel or isn't a fan. He just found the guy who's known for catching pedophiles and was like, I'll pay the $39.99. Chris Hansen didn't even do him the favor of turning the phone the right way to make it look like he took 30 seconds.
I didn't even know if that was really Chris Hansen. I thought it was a guy doing an impression. It kind of looked like him.
No. It was Chris Hansen.
It's really him.
Yeah, so it was definitely he just bought the cameo. And then there's no, like, intro. It just goes right into him on screen. Hey, guys, what's up?
Before you hit the play, what is Cosby more? Predator or minority?
Predator.
Right?
He was already yelling at the other minorities for acting like minorities.
Right, because he's
so,
like whiter than he is nicer.
Yeah. But so this story is about cringy, lacy New Jersey predator buys a 14-year-old a vibrator. And that's basically what he does, is he does what all these predator accounts do. They set up a fake Instagram. They get some guys to like it. They reveal that they're actually younger than the age. I think this one was 14, he said. But what's funny about this video is he gets angry at this predator, but not for the reasons you'd think. And I don't want to spoil anything, so let me just play a little bit. Ready? Everybody smile in 1, 2, 3. Got to pick the right screen. There it is.
This is great for audio. All right.
Sorry, we're doing the best we can. All right, so this is him.
The question mark thing. The question mark thing is so annoying because he will literally message me. If I don't message him back in like 5 minutes, question mark, every time. Okay, I gotta get it together. There's like 47 more screenshots to go through. And I said, oh, you look older.
So as you can see, he's already angry at the guy for his texting habits.
Oh, wait, it's a gay predator?
No, he's pretending to be a girl.
Oh, okay.
The black guy's pretending to be the 14-year-old girl, like all the predators do. So he's pretending to be a 14-year-old girl, but he's not angry at him for that.
I do prefer.
He's angry about the way the guy texts him back.
No, I saw that. But you gotta have etiquette when you're flirting as a little girl. You gotta be treated like a lady.
I'm just gonna share the audio because the video quality is pretty terrible, and then it won't screw everything up. So, whatever.
Let's see what kind of porn Bob's got. Pictures of me. Yeah, look at me.
All right, hang on. I can't do this.
All right.
It's fucking up. But basically, you get the idea.
So he's setting it. Do I get this clear? This guy is setting it up because he's trying to trap predators.
Yeah, so he's acting like a 14-year-old, like all these predators do. So just listen to some audio clips.
Is he a cop?
Oh, hold on.
No, he's just... Okay, go ahead.
And this guy has like a podcast or something?
It's a YouTube channel called...
It's a YouTube channel where he
called
broadcasts.
Minority versus Predator. So he goes on. He does like all these...
Like
hang on, I'll explain it. The whole thing, Greg. I'll explain it. He does what all these...
I have a specific question.
Okay.
Is the opening to his YouTube channel or show that he's performing a cameo of Chris Hansen?
Yes, that is what I was saying. Yeah, that's how it starts. All of his videos.
Okay, I understand.
That's his whole intro. And then what he
I've
does...
been lost since then.
Okay. Maybe this
was
was
a little
idea.
confusing because I was also like, is that like a joke part? But that's part of the show.
No,
so we just lost the show.
All right.
Yeah, essentially we're just watching the show.
Okay.
Parts of it, but
that's shitty.
It feels like it's already kind of lost all of its steam. So maybe
no,
I'll
get mad when people have questions. Everything's fine, Bob.
Shit.
No,
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to lose your steam. I
really
want to hear where this guy goes because I like.
You're right. I just wanted to.
It's all good. It's just
said what time I was free on Sunday. Then he says, oh, sorry, I can maybe next week if you're okay with that. And then that's when I just lost my shit. I'm like, what's the point of you asking me about a day you weren't even available for in the first place? Calling you dense is an understatement and an insult to the word dense and all of its synonyms. All he says was, okay, so I meant next weekend, sorry. Not gonna lie, I imagine at this point in time I would have already thrown my phone across the fucking room, but I think I'm doing pretty good.
he just gets progressively angrier at this guy's texting.
Body now.
Yeah, he's acting like
here we go again with this shit. I said.
What was that, Greg? My bad.
He's acting like he's dating this guy and he's actually upset with him. Like,
yeah, and it's not about the fact that he's trying to fuck a 14-year-old. It's about how he texts. Yeah. He's like, get better at trying to fuck this 14-year-old.
You can send a pic.
I was just gonna say, it's also like he's not realizing that as a pedophile, you're probably trying to confuse the younger person by saying weird shit because you're fucking trying to be an awful thing.
Or maybe the guy is like
all the tricks.
Not trying to molest a kid, and he's like trying to talk himself out of it. Like, shouldn't you be like, oh, all right, man, good idea. Don't do this. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like he's trying to get this guy to fuck a 14-year-old.
I think most of that's always just like trying to get them to say something. Then they go, gotcha. It's like, well, I never was gonna. Like, you're in an argument with a woman, and you're like, I didn't say I don't want to go out to eat. You didn't say you do. I didn't say I didn't want to. I'll do whatever. Whatever. That's what your answer is. Whatever. It's like, fine, we'll stay in. Yeah, of course you want to fucking stay in, you asshole. I wanted to go out. It's like, what happened?
Let me just play the ending of this video real quick because I find it very funny.
Does he say the N-word?
If you're going to a party tonight, you try to be touched. And can you try to touch a dick? And I'm like, I hate you. And he's like, what? I mean, you don't have to. I'm like, you tell me where we're meeting. In what world can a 14-year-old girl just get up, walk out of her house at 11 p.m. and just go to a party? Just walk to, she doesn't have a car. Like, what are you gonna do? Just gonna do this here? And I'm gonna just do that right there.
He pretended like he was hanging himself.
That's not.
He's so mad this guy is not a better pedophile. He's like, you got to think it through, man. What 14-year-old's free at 11? You got to fuck her at 6 p.m., dude.
This guy he's mad for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. He's
I feel
intense.
like he's doing this for a lot of the wrong reasons.
Well, better. He's mad because the adult is forgetting it's a child. Like, he doesn't want a child. He's like, you can't just come hang out later. He's like, well, why not? And he's like, well, yeah, because I don't drive. I'm a child. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting for some reason you're a child, and I keep asking if you're in your 20s.
Yeah, he did that like 13 times, too. He keeps messing up the age and stuff. So who's the piece of shit in the story?
This show is about, right here. This show, because you start this story and you think, well, obviously the pedophile is going to be the piece of shit. This is a no-brainer. And you get through it and you find out that it's there's a guy weirder than the pedophile.
And if I guess at some point he did like order a vibrator for the 14-year-old, but if it had been like a drag queen,
allowed to do that?
But if he had been a drag queen being like, I'm trying to empower her femininity, like then everybody would be like, oh my God, good for her. So like, who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it the minority who's very upset at the predator for not just meeting and fucking him? Is it the predator for not texting back fast enough? Is it me for not doing a good job setting it up? Greg, we'll kick it to you first.
Well, I just in this moment forgot about the minority aspect of this. So this guy calls himself the minority.
Yeah,
He is the minority. Yeah, that is his
like
channel.
YouTube handle or whatever.
Yeah.
He's just a Green Day fan, I guess.
Minority.
What's the song? Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
If you need
Well,
to,
no, the minority is the piece of shit in this. I got a bad vibe as soon as he started talking. He has like a weird, like high-pitched child's voice.
we got all we needed there. Greg said the minority is the piece of shit in this story. I got a bad vibe as soon as I heard his voice.
Yep.
That's it. That's what this whole podcast was for. We are out.
It's one of the bad ones. That guy.
So why is he the piece of shit? I'm just kidding, Greg.
I mean, for all the reasons we've already touched on, man, he's a weirdo. He wants this for the wrong reasons. You check that guy; he's got secret hard drives in his house. I bet you, guaranteed.
He does have a pretty intense movie collection,
Oh, the worst kinds.
and he's got figurines behind him. One of which is the Power Rangers.
Well, now you're talking about literally behind me in my apartment.
Yeah, but you're not pretending to be a 14-year-old.
No.
If you
No,
were,
I'm-
then we'd have some issues. You could be good at that the way you look physically, Greg. All kidding aside, if you shaved up.
I know. I was gonna do that too.
Pat, who's the piece of shit?
It's hard. It's hard that when someone's so annoying
So
that
is the
you're like
predator.
rooting for a pedophile. You know what I mean? Like when someone is so bad at what they're doing that you're like it's very strange that normally you would just go, okay, obviously it's a pedophile. I don't even really know from this context if this guy is a pedophile or he's just a moron who's on Instagram and messaging people, didn't realize somebody was a certain age, but is also like either a slow adult or fucking. We don't hear his voice or anything. We don't know what this kind of person is. To be honest with you, this
Ben.
person can also be a fake account that likes to fuck with people, a troll. So a troll and a fake child are fucking going back and forth with each other saying dumb shit. Like when you say, "Oh, come over and touch my dick," I think troll right away.
That
'Cause
does
that's not
sound
a-
more like a 14-year-old than an adult. That's a good
Right.
point.
And then even crazier is that this guy who is now, which is even funny when Greg said that, but like I forgot all about Minority, which is weird that he's like, how do I make this more clickable? Yeah, I know people care about pedophiles and shutting them all down, but everyone's doing that. Wait a minute. People like black people right now. That's the thing.
Right now.
They do, but in a couple of years they won't. But right now, black lives and black shows matter. So what you have to say is minority. But then you're like, what kind of minority? It's like Eskimo. I don't give a fuck. So it's like, oh, black guy. That's okay. But then you hear him talk and you're like, gay? Is he a gay black guy?
His shirt
that-
says Milkshake Mafia on it. And
Yeah.
that's like one of his Instagram handles. So this guy's
He-
got some questioning.
Right. He's doing the, if you ever watch black people react to music or black people react to TV shows and stuff like that, those videos, which are great.
Favorite thing.
They're
Favorite
amazing.
thing.
He's having that kind of thing where he's pausing going, now this motherfucker's saying this. It's like, that's not what you would do here. Okay, if someone messaged me by mistake and said, are you a 14-year-old girl? I would like to have the sex, please. I would go, I'm calling the police and having everything you have shut down. You're awful. I wouldn't go, wait, let me get a YouTube channel and see if Cameo's got a good price on fucking Chris Hansen. Because like I wrote a book once and I went and got a guy who owns a comedy club in Boston to write the forward. In the same way, I think this guy was like, I need a good forward. If I don't have a good forward, no one's going to read this book. Can I get Dr. Drew? Not Dr. Drew.
Pretty close though.
Pretty close. So I have to, unfortunately, because I still have to think the guy's heart's in the right place, I have to go the pedophile is the piece of shit if he really is a pedophile. But it's way closer than it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and
should have said that. Should have said pedophile was a piece of shit.
No, I like that you just said no. Pedophiles are cool.
here's the issue, Greg, is you didn't understand this guy's backstory. like I do.
Oh.
Okay. If you take a look at his
You mean
picture,
Black Story, Bob?
no, I mean backstory, and you'll understand why in a second. If you look at what he's got going on, he's got a bunch of toys, like the Hulk, Power Rangers, some Friday the 13th stuff. He's got an extensive DVD collection that is alphabetized, and
I don't like that.
he does his whole show in a shirt that says Milkshake Mafia, right? So that's another thing. And then he's got a lizard on his shoulder the whole time. He's just a guy who likes what pedophiles use to attract kids, but isn't a pedophile. So he started like putting all these things together, and people started judging him. And he was like, oh, fuck that. No, I got to take this back. Who brings down these pedophiles? Let me do some research. Oh, shit, Chris Hansen. I'll get the intro for my show to be him. And then it's just using his normal powers that would be channeled into like train watching, alphabetizing his DVDs, perfectly arranging all of his figurines in order of date and year they came out. And now he's trying to go after pedophiles. So the piece of shit is Chris Hansen for not shutting this down right away. No, I don't do cameo fake intros for free. Fuck you. Chris Hansen, once again, piece of shit.
Yeah, but I bet you hit him up with, hey, Chris Hansen, I am a minority, and it would look really bad if you didn't put that. 'Cause I could go, Chris Hansen wouldn't do this for me during Black Lives Matter time. So Chris is like, whatever, fucking, yeah, that's fine. I would like to get away from all this, but whatever. I'll endorse it. Yeah, I don't want to have to save kids. I'm so tired of me being the punchline of every hack comic going, oh, look at this pedophile. You must know Chris Hansen. Like, I'm not going to show up at everybody's house. I did it for money. I don't just do it for sport. Like, I don't really care if kids get fucked. I'm Chris Hansen. My whole empire has been built on children fucking. No matter what. Yeah, I might have saved them, but everything I own came because kids are sexy to certain people, and that's how I fucking make my money.
I live my life in a constant hell where I want to stop pedophilia, but if I did, then I wouldn't have anything to bring to television anymore, so I also don't want to stop pedophilia. It's a real catch-22 that puts the gun in my mouth and takes it out every morning.
Dr.
We're just
Drew
fucked up
gets a
because
bad
22
rap.
is a terrible age. It should be catch 13. Pet or feeling you. That's a new shirt, Bobby.
No, it's not. We've had a lot of joke shirts, but no, I'm drawing the line on that one
Pet
for
or
you.
feeling you. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Which one you want? A little rubbing or just a little touch?
Oh, Jesus. So you had one more story for us?
Kid touch? I do way more than touch.
I'll be right
I
back.
want that pedophile. That's nothing. Touch. That's baby shit. I can fuck.
That was a great story. It had different level. I mean, that went everywhere. And I love that motherfucker was so weird. We talked about him being weird for several minutes before the iguana came up.
I didn't even realize there was an iguana.
It's the first thing I noticed, and I forgot it almost immediately because there was so much other shit.
And now Bobby's not there for a second. I hate to say this, but the reason why we didn't get at the beginning is because it is hard. We tried it at the beginning. It's harder when you do a video. We get distracted. As much as the listeners sometimes are like, well, Pat reads stupid. When you're reading it, it makes you focus on listening.
Sure.
To get the information. With the video, you got so distracted that most people, you were looking at the iguana. I was noticing he was like Craig Robinson. It was a lot of shit going on. You know what I mean? So that's what it was. It wasn't Bobby's presentation. It was the fact that video is harder to get information from than when we read it.
True.
Because we get too distracted by the other shit.
Fair enough.
Also, I didn't have a lot of confidence going in, so I was trying to bail on it early anyway.
What? Well, you had no confidence like that guy trying to fuck a 14-year-old girl?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you
By
got
the way, Bobby, you ever notice that like the people that do this, I always think of, when politicians are always like, being gay is wrong, and then they always end up being gay.
Yeah.
Whenever anybody starts a let's get pedophiles show and they know every pedophile's trick, I'm like, you're a pedophile.
See,
yeah,
I think it's
too much.
I think it's almost that, but I think it's all these people are jealous they didn't get fucked as a kid.
Ooh.
You mean fucked or touched?
Touched.
Because I can see being jealous of being touched, but I wouldn't want to be fucked.
Touched. You're
Ever.
right, touched. Like this dude in particular, what was that other chick? Ru Pao? Like,
Yeah.
she definitely was just mad all of her friends got fucked by some dude's stepdad and she didn't. So she got hot in the revenge body and now spends her life trying to get pedophiles back. But in reality, she's like, yeah, you would fuck me.
Yeah. To be a kid and get fucked is crazy. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, that could be the craziest thing that could happen. As a kid, I got like lost in a mall once and that was nuts. But imagine being fucked. Like, that's insane. You're just And you just, what do you do with that? Especially when I was growing up, because you can't go to your dad and be like, I was fucked. Like, shut up.
Yeah. I'd
Don't
never go
tell
back to the
people.
mall, I'll tell you that.
It's like, I had a dick in me. That's crazy. I'm a boy.
I was at Spencer's.
Yeah,
is
we're
nuts.
Catholic. We don't even believe in that. Then the Catholic Church fucks everybody. So it's even crazier. Yeah. I would never, if I had my choice of all this, if I went back in time and I could change anything about my childhood, I wouldn't change the part where I didn't get fucked. I would keep that part.
No, but like you didn't have a whole friend group where like one girl's stepdad fucked everybody except for you. You know?
Maybe. I didn't have a lot of friends and we didn't really share a lot of stuff.
Like I feel like this dude in particular, he and a buddy went to get milkshakes while the wrestling coach molested everybody else, and that's where the Milkshake Mafia title came from.
See, for me, I was never going to get molested because, like, two things. One, wasn't an attractive kid, and two, I don't shut the fuck up. So, like, there's no reason to fucking molest me. I'm not going to stop talking about it. Even if I liked it, I'll be like, this guy, his hands are so supple. Like, he really works the balls. You wouldn't think it's a thing. I'm a little kid with barely any balls, but when he works, it's great. I wouldn't shut the fuck up. I would tell people. I would tell a kid, like, I'm kind of dating your dad now, so I'm kind of your mom. Like, I would talk shit like that. Like, I would not shut the fuck up.
You would just run your mouth. Me too.
Yeah.
I would not know how to flirt with you, Pat. There's no, like, I need you to pause for a second so I can kind of put my arm around you or whatever. But
I've never flirted a day in my life. I do this all the time. People get mad at the same statement, but it's true. Women find me on Facebook after seeing me at comedy shows or whatever. They talk to me for a couple minutes, and next thing I know, we were living together for 2 years. That's every dating thing I've ever had. That's just it. I've never asked a woman out. I've never flirted. I don't know what to do. They just
move in.
dating.
It's a better place to be.
But I've never been fucked as a child.
That's
You
good.
heard it here first.
Pat, you want to do one story, close us out, buddy?
Yes, we'll do it quick. If you could pull up the Arnold Schwarzenegger picture.
Oh, that's an oldie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger deliberately farted in my face, actress claims. So we didn't on a classic. Arnold Schwarzenegger is being accused of cutting the cheese on set. Who wrote this? Samantha Ibram again. Jesus Christ, cutting the cheese. According to his co-star, Miriam Margolis, the Terminator legend, 74 now. He's 74. Deliberately farted in her face while filming the 1999 horror movie End of Days.
what?
Here, yep, there they are.
Jesus.
Yep. Harry Potter actress Margolis, 81. I think she was the one that like would make plants into magic shit, right? In Harry Potter?
Who was that?
The woman. I think she was the one in Harry Potter, the professor that would do like the plants. Like she wasn't a main character, but she would
Kind
do
of
like the
important,
goofy
I guess.
plants with her.
I
Made
didn't
a
see it.
Oh God, this pun already sucks. The Harry Potter actress made a big stink about the incident on the latest installment of I've Got News for You podcast. So she went on a podcast, had nothing to talk about, and it's like in 1990, whatever, Arnold Schwarzenegger beefed in my face. She also claimed Schwarzenegger was actually quite rude during the film's shoot. The Brit
Bullshit.
thespian dropped the bombshell allegation when the host asked her to reveal her least favorite co-star of all times. I didn't care for him. He's a bit too full of himself, Margolis said about the former California governor. He farted in my face. Now, I fart, of course I do, but I don't fart in people's faces. He did it deliberately, right in my face. That's the quote. She kept nailing it. Like,
I didn't
How
like
was her
him.
face?
He was one of those soccer playing bricklayers, if you will.
I hope we're going to get to what Greg just asked, because I thought that too. Where was her face?
Yeah, like I'm not saying this didn't happen, but I need to know like how it happened.
I think we're going to get that. She
Oh,
then
all right.
went on to describe the biblical action flick. I was playing Satan's sister, and he was killing me. So he had me in a position where I couldn't escape and lying on the floor, and he just farted.
I gotta see this movie. This sounds like a
No,
hilarious movie.
I wonder if it's like in the cuts or like it made the fucking edit. Like
I hope that's how he kills Satan's sister.
Okay, here we go. It wasn't on film. It was in one of the pauses, but I haven't forgiven him for it. The Mulan star said. I guess she was in Mulan.
How she knows deliberate? Maybe he's embarrassed.
We keep dropping her credits. Yeah, he might have just like farted. He probably didn't even realize that she was down there. In End of Days, the ex-husband of Maria Shriver portrayed an ex-cop who had to stop Satan, Gabriel Byrne, from procreating the Antichrist with a young woman, Robin Tooney. I don't know why they gave us that breakdown. Meanwhile, earlier in July, Margola's cracked up viewers when she appeared on the. Well, now they're just going to others. Oh, now she talks shit about everybody. She said, and she shared a stinker of a story about actor Leonardo DiCaprio. She said her Romeo and Juliet co-star was also a bit odoriferous on the set of the 1996 Baz Luhrmann movie. He was a bit smelly because it was very hot in Mexico, and young boys don't make themselves fragrant. They don't wash all the bits. She's saying he had stinky nuts. He was a child. This lady's fucking crazy.
Don't do a movie with this lady. Jesus.
Bobby, can we get her? You think if we put the right time? She went on a show called What's New to You? Like, should you do POS?
We can reach out.
Margolis then went on to jokingly advise the morning production team to take better care of their hygiene. So that's like her thing. She goes out, she goes, Schwarzenegger stinks, DiCaprio stinks. If you don't watch it, you stink. So who is the piece of fart in this story? Is it this fucking lady who's going around? That happened 30 years ago. And she's going on there talking, just trying to get any kind of attention she can. Is it Arnold Schwarzenegger? At that time, in the 90s, even End of Days wasn't a great movie. He was a mega fucking star. You've got to worry about everything. Farting, doing whatever. I know you're a star, but you're farting and there's a lady on the ground. Like, if that happened now, he'd be canceled. Like, they'd be like, without consent. Oh my God, you farted in my mouth? That's like oral. So it's like, is it Leonardo DiCaprio for having stinky nuts because Mexico's hot and boys are stinky, according to this lady? Is it the people that were handling Arnold Schwarzenegger for not making her sign a disclosure thing, like what do they call it? Like a do not NDA
non-disclosure agreement?
That's the word we can say here. The non-disclosure one saying, hey, Schwarzenegger farts a lot. Shut your mouth. Don't go on podcasts once those are invented 30 years from now and talk about his farts. Or is it, once again, this woman here, what's her name again? The fucking author of this thing, Ibrahim, because this is not news. Once again, New York Post, I get all my news from you. These are every story we do, except for 2 weeks ago when that monkey threw that baby off the roof. That's fucking news. All this is not news. This should not be in the New York Post. Arnold Schwarzenegger farted near a lady 30 years ago. That's not news. Who's the piece of shit? Greg, go first.
Well, all right. My answer might be a little controversial.
That's okay.
So we're all comedians here.
It's not as controversial as the pedophile is a good guy. So go ahead.
All right, fair enough. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is a piece of shit because I think he did do it on purpose.
Okay.
And I think he was trying to be funny. And fucking farts aren't funny, dude. I'm sorry. I said it. That's hack.
Oh, I agree.
It's hack. It's gross. It's stinky. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's a piece of shit. This lady's also like a runner-up piece of shit because she should be lucky to have smelled Leo's balls.
I don't find farts funny.
Thank you.
But if Arnold Schwarzenegger farts on a lady laying on the ground, for some reason, that's funny.
That's kind of funny.
Because of the character, the thing in a movie. It's to think about the movies he was making, these like Michael Bay blockbusters, billions of dollars are being poured into it, and he just goes. Like,
it's funny that it happened.
That's fucking great. I don't know. To me,
it's funny that it happened, but he's a hack, and he thinks it's too hilarious. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he is, but that's the only time I think it's good when it's like a cartoon character like Arnold Schwarzenegger farting on a lady who keeps saying co-star. You weren't a co-star. Your name was not barely in the credits. Calm down. You were on the ground getting farted on. Bobby.
Yeah, he farted on her on purpose because she fucking wanted it. He looked in that old bitch's eyes and saw her desire. And you know why she's talking about it 30 years later, Pat, with such vivid detail? Because she remembers it. Because she's thought about it every day as she vigorously flicks her bean to the thought of Schwarzenegger farting in her face. Clearly it's her thing. She probably was like, hey, you know what Arnold did to me? And Leo was like, I'll top you. Smell my nutsack, bitch. Like, this is her thing, old dirty bitch. Just because now you're old and senile, Me Too happened, doesn't mean you get to change your opinion.
Yeah, she's thinking back to the most famous people she ever worked with and trying to say some bullshit about them, but bullshit that won't get her in trouble. And then they would just laugh off. They won't argue or sue because it's stupid. That's what she's doing there. what makes me think
She wanted it.
now maybe she wanted it. I do think she's a piece of shit. And I don't think she wanted it in the way you're saying. Here's what I think. Yeah. Okay. Bobby, you've met some people that aren't famous, but have been known, right? Especially with Compound and stuff. People that at one point had some fame. They're not known now, but they're like D level or something like that. Celebrities, correct?
Yeah.
So a lot of those people get approached when they're older to write a book because they're trying to make some money. There's somebody who's a ghostwriter who's like, hey, we could probably try to go through this shit. We could both make a couple bucks. You've met interesting people. They try to Forrest Gump things up. They go, you were around a lot of things that were good, like famous movies and shit. Like if you name her movies, those are some big fucking blockbuster movies. Now, is she a star in it? No, but she maybe hopefully has some interesting stories. So they start pushing her for things. She doesn't really have anything. So she starts kind of maybe making shit up. And she's like, I met Arnold Schwarzenegger. He wasn't really that nice to me. What did he do that was mean? She wants to lie, but she doesn't really have anything. She goes, he farted. Maybe he did just fart. Maybe, and she's like, he farted on my face. They're like, what? And he's write it down. And then they go, what about Leonardo DiCaprio? It's like, his nuts smell. They keep doing that. And then they look at their notes and go, nobody's going to buy this book. This is garbage. But she's like, well, that was the interesting about me. And I already had these pressers set up so I can sell this book that nobody wanted.
Sense, yeah.
So I might as well go on these shitty podcasts and talk about these dumb stories, and hopefully they're true because I'm old, and even by the time they get mad at me, I'll probably be dead, or at least say I'm senile.
Maybe somebody will laugh and buy my book.
Or better, maybe I'll get to be viral on the TikToks. I don't know what that means, but I hear people talk about it, and I can be the lady who runs away from Arnold Schwarzenegger's butt in the video, or I can be the lady that hides from Leo's nuts.
Or like some lady who gets pissed on by Harrison Ford or something.
Yeah, R. Kelly was not fun. We were in that video, and he hosed me off worse than I used to hose off black kids going to school in Alabama. It's a good visual. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, I think she's the piece of shit. I don't think Arnold is. I don't think you can't Leonardo DiCaprio for not smelling good, working hard on a set in the sun.
That's just get over yourself, bitch.
Yeah.
Total pass.
What do
By
you
the
think
way,
your stanky
old
pussy
English
smells
lady,
like?
I'm sure your vagina is not a treat to whiff. They're not making a Yankee Candle of fucking fat Harry Potter bitch's cunt. They're just not. That's not what's happening. So like, yeah, the young boy's nuts stink. That was also when him and David Blaine were running around fucking everybody. He had all of Hollywood laying on that cock.
Harry Potter and the foul odor.
Yeah. You know what? I think they should take you out of all those movies. They should go back like Turner used to and like blanking things out and just wipe her out of that for talking shit. You don't deserve to be near Terminator farts.
It's fair game. We should get a hold of the kid who played Harry Potter and ask her how this lady's pussy smelled.
Yeah.
It's
How
on the
did it smell?
table now.
So you
know what Daniel Radcliffe's going to say? I don't even know who that is.
You hear that, Daniel Radcliffe? Come on the podcast. Tell all. You're more than welcome.
I don't think we can get Daniel Radcliffe, but I'm not kidding. I think we can get, if we lied good enough about this podcast,
yeah, we could
fake the numbers, told her she can get on here, we could have her come on here, and then we can do the stories about her and call her a piece of shit to her face.
That would be great, and she won't know how to log out.
And Bobby, all we do is just continue to play fart noises the entire time she talks.
Yeah, we'll do that in post. She won't even notice.
No. Just right then.
Perfect.
She's obviously not quick. Because if she was quick or like witty, she'd do better than this. This is fucking, like Greg said, fart jokes aren't funny. You resort to it when you're not good. When you're not funny, they're funny to kids because you don't know what humor is. It's universal. It's a noise. It's weird that we laugh at it because it's something we all do, but it's also embarrassing because we laugh at those things. But when a comic gets good and he still does fart jokes, like, oh, you're not really funny. Somebody was helping you. So like, if you're like 80 and you've had a movie career like she's had, and all you can talk about is farts, you're boring.
And what did you do with all the money you made or all the adventures? Like, you hear some of these guys like Andrew Howard, who's a bit playing guy in all these movies and TV shows. He's got 7 amazing stories from being on any set that don't involve somebody shitting in his face, or it's just some adventure he took on his own, you know?
Yeah, and Schwarzenegger's been known to shit on women's chests, or is that Stallone? It's one of the two. But either way, you could do better.
Yeah, and like, there are definitely worse stories about Schwarzenegger out there. It's not like you're really pointing out that he's a bad guy. Remember how he had a bastard son he finally acknowledged 11 years
Remember
in?
when he fucked the ugly Mexican maid?
And made the bastard son that he finally acknowledged 11 years later? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If you notice the way she, and I know we got to go, but when you notice how she wrote this author was trying to, or the writer or whatever, was trying to get you to like her and not like Arnold. That's why at one point he put his ex-wife, Maria Shriver, this bad thing, that bad thing, trying to paint a picture. It's like, we all know who he is. Get to the chopper. We're not going to get mad at Arnold.
I just
Arnold is so
farted. Get
goofy
to the
and stupid,
chopper.
we're always going to love him.
It's going to smell. Get to the chopper.
If you said to me, who farted on you? I'm like, if you said anyone farted, I'd be like, Bobby, let me know where they are. I will come down there and I will beat the shit out of them. If you said Arnold Schwarzenegger queefs on me, I'd go, you are lucky. You have a bit to do now. That's
Exactly.
awesome. So we're done, right?
That's what I've
Can't
got.
follow farts.
No, we cannot. Greg,
We've learned a lot. Pedophiles are cool. Lady actresses are liars. We've learned a lot. Cheesecake is not really that good, but it's better than key lime pie. We've done a lot.
we've nailed it all. Greg,
That
tell the people.
I am better at telling a story on this podcast than Bobby is. We've learned that.
That's fair.
And Greg is still one of the best guests we have all the time.
Of course. Greg, tell the people where to find you.
Yeah, Greg, where can they watch you and shit?
Greg Billet Comedy on social media, and I got shows coming up. I got shows in Carlisle, August 27th, and I don't know.
For more details on wherever the fuck he is, go to follow him and he'll tell you.
Yeah, I told somebody I would say my dates on this podcast.
Well,
I'll do that lie and go, don't worry, we'll put a link, and then I don't know how to do that. So.
Yeah, fuck them. No one's coming to those shows.
What you
Have a
do
good
is you
night.
follow Greg on social media, and then you'll find where his shows are.
Sometimes I don't always talk about
What's the name of the person who's putting on the show?
it. One of them's Terry McDonald.
Terry McDonald, your shows rule. Everyone go to Terry McDonald's show.
Oh, and the other one's a Gary Limoges joint. Gary Limoges is the man. So
Gary Limoges, that's not a great name. You should probably get a stage name.
it's a shit name, but he's
Limoges sounds like an old sex move. Like you gave her the old Limoges.
It does. It kind of sounds like a pie too. Like a
Yeah,
pie.
a Limoges.
Yeah, not into it.
Bobby, not do it. Bobby, go ahead. I didn't know Greg was going to turn that into fuck your ice cream and fuck cake. Fuck you, Alamode. Go ahead, Bobby.
check out the Davey Mac Sports program. It's fun. Head over to our Patreon. We've done a lot of good shows. And The Dump over on Compound Media. While you're there, check out the How Could You Forget series.
You know who reached out to me on Saturday, Bobby?
Who was that?
A guy who I find hilarious, and one of the guys who's like one of the edgiest fucking comedians there's out there. Mark Hughes hit me up, and we had a great chat just about like shit he's dealing with in Canada and asking if we deal with the same kind of thing here in America. I was on the radio, but we were just going back and forth. I love that dude. If you want to know a guy that actually fucking is so committed to his comedy, he's been ostracized all his places and still fucking never lets down his guard. Go support what Mark Hughes that you might like his humor, but you gotta love the passion the guy has. Go support and follow him on his YouTube channel, on Instagram. I'm telling you, you're not gonna be bored. If anything, don't be playing his shit out loud at work if you want to keep your job. Mark Hughes is a fucking amazing, hilarious guy, and I want to have him. I told him I'll have him on the podcast again soon. He's fucking great. I want to have him on.
And
But
he's doing it in a country where like you can actually go to jail for jokes. Like not just here where you could like lose your job and be ostracized. Like there are actual criminal
the
ramifications.
conversations we had about how you get work or be a working comic when all those rules are there. It was just fucking very interesting. It was cool that he reached out to me because he asked me for advice, and I'm like, that's fucking sweet. Like, whatever.
Awesome.
And we had a great chat. So it's like, support that motherfucker and support our podcast. Get over on the Patreon, join us there. Bobby's gonna kill himself soon on there. That'll be cool.
Need to buy a Mustang.
Buy a Mustang and then kill himself. Kind of like what was that, Paul Walker?
Yeah.
Park
Paul
the
Walker.
Mustang in the garage and turn it on.
And fill it all up. Is that the fucking song?
Fill it up.
And then we'll end it on the dumb song. I've got shows, but you don't care. You're not going to go to them. But whatever. That's fine. Just follow us on here. I'm everywhere. I'm on all these dumb things or whatever. Bobby, Greg, thank you as always for being on here.
If you can't join him, beat him. And don't be a piece of shit.